Your paper 1 has gone badly, but not to worry because grade boundaries are never fixed beforehand, okay? Ofcom literally says that if the paper is harder than previous years, the grade boundaries will be lower. You have about 36 hours until your paper 2 exam, okay? In this video, I'm going to run you through the 3 things that you have to do tonight and what you should do tomorrow morning so that you can feel better about your exam, okay? You can feel good about the exam. Of course, you'll be happy to know that none of these include becoming a genius overnight. Anything that I'm going to reference, I'm going to put as screenshots on the video so you can actually screenshot them and pause and use as you require, okay? So this is your actual pure priority list that I've gotten from a couple of different predictions compiled together and looking at the overlap. It's split into 3 different tiers that are organized in order of importance, and you can just pause and screenshot as you need. It's very likely that AQA Paper 2 pure topics are going to include vectors, functions, domain range, integration by substitution, arithmetic series, parametric equations, implicit differentiation, and then its mechanics list includes SUVAT, variable acceleration, connected particles, forces, projectiles, friction, and moments. I'm not going to edit this video too much as well, just because I need to get it out today, like ASAP, so please bear with me running out of breath or any extra things. You can just skip past the stuff that you don't really need, okay? For mechanics, of course, you should have a high level understanding for most of the topics because none of it has come up before in your paper 1, but you should have at least the mechanics basics nails, okay? So things like being able to draw force diagrams, resolving correctly in the correct directions as well, using F equals MA, remembering weight is mg, stuff like that, okay? You got to remember all of these things. If you know all of these things, it's high return because it's quite repeated. Okay, now let's get right into it. These are 3 things that you should do tonight. So first, this is going to take 90 minutes, so about an hour and a half. You need to do a mixed prediction marathon, okay? So you need to do only 1 question on each of the following. And you don't want to do whole topic packs, okay? Just 1 question. So vectors, recurrence, binomial, logs, exponential modeling, partial fractions, and so on and so forth, okay? Just refer to the tier 1 list. So that's for pure. And then of course for mechanics, you want to be doing SUVAT questions. That's variable and constant acceleration, and then you want to be also doing connected particles, friction, and you want to be doing moments, projectiles, forces questions, okay? You want to do projectiles questions because I always see that they come up. The point is you want to switch from topic to topic. The paper is sadly and unfortunately not going to say to you very politely, hey, this is substitution, would you like to give this a go? It's going to throw some random question at you and you have to know, oh, this is integration by substitution, and you've got to be able to do it all by yourself. That's why the switching of the topics is great. Even better if you don't know what topic you're going into before you do it. I will link a helpful resource that I found on YouTube by mathswithdan, and it's essentially a paper of prediction questions. He's walking through it, but you can just pause the video to do the questions and then just look at his answers. You don't need to watch the entire video. I'll pop that in the description box. You can do all of that, but if you don't do the next step, then it's kind of useless, okay? So number 2, it's going to take about 20 minutes. You're going to make the first line sheet from the questions that you've just completed. You can take a mini break after 90 minutes and then come back and spend about 20 minutes making the first line sheet. And what is that? So for each topic, you're going to write the first thing that you do before even thinking. So for example, for logs, you're going to write down that you combine the logs first and then you exponentiate. And then for small angle approximations, you might write down the 3 approximations and then you check radians. Mechanics, you might draw the diagram first, then you choose a positive direction, which one you're going to do the positive in, then you're going to write the forces and then the equation. So you're going to write down these first steps. Even better if you can write the exact explicit formulas, or you can write these first steps right underneath questions on a sheet just so you can connect a question with the first step. This sheet's going to make you faster because it removes any hesitation in the exam. You know exactly what to do for that specific type of question, so you're just going to get cracking on with it like this. So you can do all of that, right? But of course, you're not still doing something about the mistakes that you're making. So this next bit is to remedy any of the mistakes that you're making, and you've got to put these 3 together to get the best results, okay? So this is going to take about 30 minutes. So to be fair, you could do this straight after the first line sheet, and that's marking only the first lost mark. So you don't want to just mark the entire paper and then call it a day. That's not what we want to do. We want to instead, for every failed question, we want to identify the first point where the solution went wrong. So the first point where if you did the correct thing, you would have got the correct answer, but you did something else and you got that wrong. So you want to note down exactly where that was, and then tomorrow you're going to come back and you're going to fix the question or fix the mistake starting from that point. You're not going to do the whole entire topic revision. You're not going to try to do 10 questions on that topic again. No, just that point, just that mistake that you made. You're going to fix that for all of the mistakes and all the questions that you got wrong and all the marks that you lost. So for example, was it that you didn't know the opening move? Was it an algebra slip? Was it the wrong formula? Did you misread the wording? And so on and so forth. Or you didn't put a diagram, you should have put a diagram, yada yada, the list goes on, but you know what I mean. Again, the first error that you made in the question is going to be tomorrow's revision, okay? Not the whole topic revision, just that little mistake that you made. Okay, now these are the things that you do tomorrow. So you can very well have done everything that I told you to do for tonight, but if you don't have a plan for tomorrow, then you're just going to spend the entire day stressing. So this is what you do tomorrow, okay? So you wake up tomorrow, you freshen up, you should have a good night's rest, none of that cramming business. business, please. Unless, of course, you have done nothing else, then I guess you have to cram, but let's hope that you're not in that position. You're going to repair the first line failures. So if you fail to start a vectors question, you're going to do 3 vector starts. If you failed substitution, then you do 3 substitution starts. If you failed a mechanics diagram question, you must draw 5 diagrams and then the equations only. So don't try and do like 10 of each of the questions and the whole entire thing. We don't want a full solution. We just want to fix the mistake that you made so you won't make it again on Thursday. And then in the afternoon, you want to do timed mixed set of practice again. It will be 75 to 90 minutes. Similar to yesterday, you should use this one rule. Okay, I'm going to put it up on the screen. If you can't see a root after 90 seconds, write your setup and just move on. Okay, that means if you can't see how to solve the questions, a route, a direction, you can't see how do you go from A to B to C and then the final answer after 90 seconds. So if it takes more than a minute and a half, just move on, okay? Don't spend any more than that, because you shouldn't be spending 2 questions worth of time just on one question. It's going to stress you out and it's just going to hinder your progress, okay? So just move on, and you can always come back to it afterwards if you have time. So if you can't see a root after 90 seconds, write your setup and move on, because remember, you're going to get marks for writing equations down, for writing the general beginning bit. You don't have to finish the entire question to get like a mark or 2. And then by Wednesday evening, you should have no new topics. It's just going to stress you out, to be honest, but you should only be redoing any questions that you got wrong during Wednesday. You should be rereading the first line sheet, and you should be memorizing mechanics traps. Okay, I'm going to put a video somewhere of common mechanics traps, so you can check that out and make sure that they don't trap you and catch you out. Don't bother with any more prediction videos and things like that after 8 p.m. Sleep is your best memory consolidator. For it to work how you planned, everything that you learned on Wednesday and Tuesday need to be uploaded into your brain, which can only happen through sleep. So please get a good night's rest, okay? If needs be, you can wake up earlier on Thursday morning, but don't sleep late on Wednesday morning. It's not going to do you any favors. And then just one final warning, because if you don't kind of consider this, then you will actually be really, really struggling, is mechanics makes up a good chunk of this paper. Don't just practice pure and think, oh, okay, it's fine. You know, I've got my third paper result to pull me up. No, make sure you know your mechanics, or at least a bare minimum level of mechanics before you go into this paper, okay? Because it's going to be half the marks pretty much, and it's going to really catch you out if you have no idea what to do. It's going to make you feel horrible about the exam, especially considering you already don't feel good about paper 1. So please know your mechanics, know your pure, and go in there and smash it. Got this, okay?